Gun Talk is heard Sundays 1 till 4 right here on KEEL. The host is Mr. Tom Gresham, without a doubt one of our favorite guests. Hey, Mr. Tom, how are you this morning?
Robert, how are you, sir?
Big march yesterday, huge, massive march, and meeting with legislators. The group is called Moms Demand Action and Anti-Gun. Let's start with this. Let me back up a second, because all the marches last weekend, they billed themselves as, and this so rubbed me the wrong way. What did they say? Marching against gun violence, as though anybody who doesn't agree with them is pro-gun violence. I don't know about you, Tom. I'm an NRA member. I don't have blood on my hands. Do you?
Well, that's the whole premise, is they say, if you're not with us, you must be okay with kids dying. It is an intellectually bankrupt position, and of course, it's one of those passive-aggressive deals of, if you're not with us, then you have blood on your hands. It actually gets worse than that, Robert. Now they're saying, you are a murderer, you are a terrorist, and now we've got to the point where they're saying we must kill the members of the NRA. And now I know people who are getting death threats because they're identified as being with the NRA. So the peace-loving anti-violence groups are threatening to kill NRA members.
You just made an interesting point, and if you don't mind my asking, how about you? What have you gotten?
We, let's just say this, the FBI has been to our office to receive letters and looking at things that we've received. Yeah.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah.
So the march yesterday, the Moms Demand Action, an anti-gun group, was there anything? Did they approach those kinds of hysterics and name-calling?
Well, let's look at who they are. The Moms Demand Action and Every Town for Gun Safety are complete astro-turf groups created by Michael Bloomberg, the former mayor of New York. He gave his money and actually hired people to start these groups. They are not, unlike the NRA, they are not grassroots organizations. They're actually top-funded down, whereas NRA is bottom-funded up. Just one example. I had a friend who was in D.C. last weekend. Let me tell you a quick little story. He's in a restaurant in D.C., and these kids keep coming in from the march, and all of them are holding a $5 bill stapled to a $10 bill. All of them.
Mm.
That's their lunch money. Somebody is walking around handing out money like that to them. Not to say that, that's not – I guess the point of that is the Bloomberg billions, he has dedicated or spent at least $50 million so far, but more to come on this. I guess my message to Louisiana gun owners particularly is that the game has changed. This is not what it was last year. It may not be a widespread grassroots organization, but with that kind of money, you can sell soap to anybody, and that's what's going on. And so we have a ton of really horrible gun bans and gun bills in the Louisiana legislature that are going to be coming up for hearing starting next week.
One of them is House Bill 448, Tom, that I look at and I think it sounds reasonable, but I want to hear your opinion of it. It provides for the seizure of guns of persons who pose a risk of imminent personal injury to self or others. That sounds reasonable, but I'm sure you have a problem with it.
Well, it does sound reasonable. The problem is it is already against the law to have a gun if you are adjudicated as mentally incompetent. So we already have that. More than that, though, what this does, it sets up a situation where you don't have due process, where somebody can just basically make an accusation and essentially get your guns removed. That's not my hyperbole or paranoia. It's happening in other states, and the police are coming to doors, knocking on doors, and taking guns away from people right now, today, this week, where people have called it in. Imagine a neighbor or sometimes members of your family who you're really having serious disagreements with. They say, we're really concerned about Erin. She's just been saying crazy things and
threatening to harm Matt. Yeah.
And yep. Here we go. And all of a sudden, here they go. They're at your door and they're taking all your guns and maybe even taking you away.
Let me ask you this, Tom. And I know you're probably going to tell me no, but let me ask. I have a close family member of mine who's going to have to be spending time in California. And this person is saying, I've got to do this, and this with some of my guns, and some of my guns can't even go with me. I can't bring them with me to California. Why not some sort of nationwide policy about what you can and can't do with your guns?
Like national reciprocity, for example.
It's so silly to have to know, what do I do in each state with my guns?
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that because, that is a problem for anybody that crosses state lines. And one of the bills introduced to the Louisiana legislature they're going to be hearing is to give us that kind of crazy system in Louisiana. It used to be that cities could have their own gun laws. And then we passed a law that's called state preemption, where only the state can have gun laws. At least then you know that within the state you have the same laws. There is a bill in the legislature that says, no, New Orleans is going to get to make their own gun laws. And when you cross the line into New Orleans, you will not be operating under the same set of laws. So that's a horrible bill. And it's set up to try to get rid of preemption so that Manny could have its own laws, Winfield could have its own laws. And to your point, Aaron, when you drive in, you don't even know what the laws are, and all of a sudden the gun that you had that was legal in your hometown in Louisiana is not legal in that town.
In other words, what a nightmare, different gun laws from parish to parish across Louisiana.
Exactly.
What do you want folks to do? I know you want to counter these moms or these dads or whoever they are. What can folks do if they want to protect gun rights?
Well, they better get real serious real fast because this is not like it's been in the past. Basically, right now, everybody needs to get informed because, an informed voter is a smart voter. LouisianaShooting.com is a really good website. This is a group that actually was originally formed of competitive shooters, and they said, we got to get serious about this. So they'll have information on the bills. But really, it's simple as contacting state legislators, all of them, and saying, support gun rights, oppose all gun control laws. Real simple. Support gun rights, oppose all gun control laws. Let me tell you, there's one in here that is a ban on semi-automatic rifles, the most popular rifles that we use for everything, for competition, for recreation, for hunting, and it would ban them and provide, we're talking about penalties of years in prison at hard labor if you don't turn them in. There are other bills that require registration or even waiting periods. And waiting periods are the ones that get women killed. When a woman is battered, she needs to go get a gun right now. They say, you got to wait 10 days. There are many reports of women who have been murdered while they're waiting for the paperwork to go through.
You said just a moment ago, we need to wake up. This is different. You feel like this movement now is beyond where we've ever been. True? And why?
I do, and it's because of the money. We've never had billionaires, and literally billionaires. I mean, Michael Bloomberg's worth close to $50 billion. Tom Styron, the billionaire, has poured money into this. George Clooney and Oprah Winfrey helped fund the marches. The reason it has changed is because they have so much more money. The NRA is small compared to everybody else. I mean, the NRA in the last 30 years has spent about $25 million on lobbying, and just in the last election alone, $9 billion was spent on the election. So it gives you an idea of how small the NRA's money is. We're going to get outspent, and we definitely are out-organized at this point. But what we do have is we have a lot of people who say, no, you're not going to take away my gun rights. Hey, Erin, did you see what Justice John Paul Stevens said this week? We should repeal the Second Amendment.
I saw that.
So for those who kept saying, we don't want to take your guns, nobody wants to take your guns, well, yes, we do. We want to take away your gun rights, and we want to take away your guns. If we don't get busy and serious about it right now, it's going to start happening in Louisiana. It's going to start happening right now.